launched a study. It was a control group versus an actual, the experimental group. And we tested our hypothesis whether the use of BrainWare was going to have any impact on both the neurological processes, that the underlying cognitive processes that affect reading and math. That's what I was looking at. So identifying those specific underlying processes that one needs for math and reading or literacy, and then seeing whether BrainWare has any impact on, one, the processes, and two, the actual academic areas. And it was just wonderful. I couldn't believe it. So number one, the joy that I had with my own son, I've seen in every single child. Every single child. Now, those children, as soon as they walked into the school, Ms. Zara, could you come again? When are you coming again? When are we playing again? No, I don't want to finish the game. I want more. I want to finish more. But if you're going to do all of these, then everything's going to be hard. It's okay. I want to get better. That's going to make me better at school. Hearing those things and those voices, just that was like mind-boggling for me. I mean, it still gives me the passion that I can live for such a long time. It's just so amazing. That's really one of my biggest source of really motivation and passion for what we did. But then after so we did a pre-test using the Woodcock-Johnson, and we looked at all of the different cognitive processes, and then a post-test at the end of the use of BrainWare, and we compare them to the control group. The difference was staggering. I mean, it was just there were significant differences in almost every single underlying cognitive processes. I was really looking to see, are we going to see a difference in processing speed? And guess what? There are different levels in each of the cognitive processes. This is beyond the scope here to really outline each one. Processing speed was definitely one that we saw a difference, which was very good news. Short-term memory was very good news as well. And auditory processing. So for my son, what I've seen the working memory, and I've seen the auditory processing, that he was able to really maintain much more attention and process the information that was verbally communicated, even without a visual support, and broad attention. I've seen those three things in real life, but to see it on paper with significant increase in control groups, though I only had 40 students, 20 in the control and 20 in the experimental, but it was still enough. And I would love more people to really go on and do this research and then see whether we're keeping the same significant differences with a larger group, with more variety. But this was a very good group and a great research. The results were mind-boggling. Certainly when using it, it's just, I feel that there's a miracle that kind of unfolds. You know, one time I remember there was this one parent who asked me, you know, why are you so excited? I'm like, did you ever go into a dark room and then you lit a little light? Okay, we're in the holiday season when this is happening. So it's like you kindle this little flame, and all of a sudden, whatever you didn't see in this room is now visible. It's almost like that, what happens with BrainWare. I don't know what triggers what. Is it broad attention that gets triggered first, that gets strengthened? Is it working memory? Is it executive function? Is it visual? I have no idea, but something happens that it kindles a part of the brain, which makes what I love this game. I'm sure you all know, like the gear game, you know, lots of gears, and you have the little turn key, and when you turn the key, all the gears work together. So this BrainWare is almost like there were gears that were cranking out as you know, without brain. Before I worked on supporting my underlying cognitive processes, if I want to say so. And with BrainWare, something happens where now all the gears are they're smoother. It's working together. So when executive function is working with visual memory, I'm able to really plan my steps and have a visual of what I need to do. And so I'm self-directed. I'm able to, you know, I'm functioning at just a better efficiency and performance level. So I feel like the BrainWare is like that, kindling that dark room. The room it has everything. It's in there. Everything is in there. The furniture is in there. Anything that you need is there. But it gets, as soon as this is done for some reason, and we see just the data. We just don't know what happens first, what triggers what, in which ways it's stronger for this or that individual. That kind of research we didn't do, and I wish, you know, that I had all the time to do that, because that's really, really something of importance to do as well. But there is something that's being done that kindles that light and that makes everything just now more visible. You're much more aware, you're self-aware, and you're able to work with it. There were a group of students at the time. There were 6 students that were going to join Aerosmith. One of them was this parent, which I spoke about before, who did not have enough funds to really come up with the necessary funds, basically, to cover the expense, while this other child was already within the program but had such a hard time keeping the pace, being just true to each of the functions and each of the time blocks that were required for the child. And it was very, very, very difficult. The encouragement was there. The parents were fully committed, but it was still a very big challenge. So she had done, I believe at the time, if I recall, and I should really go back to notes, I think it was 5 months of it. And then she didn't see any progress, but she was also seeing much more frustration. So when this came up, she joined. And when she joined, it was the same effect as the other person. Just this student was a lot younger. So what the parents have seen much faster, if they've seen more stability. This child was not jumping around at everything. The anger management was there. It was just much, she was just much more content with herself.